Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to a Whips, Bits and Chat 130. Oh, you poor girls and boys, tolerating that much Poppy. You're insane and I love you. Come on, so let's go and see what I got for you today. Right, so before we start, if I could ask you a big fat favour. Now, my normal crazies know I don't ask this favour that often, but if you could give me a thumbs up, double check that you are a subscriber and you've got your subscription set to all. That's the little bell down the bottom. That would be really appreciated. And also don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. That way then the YouTube bots won't kick you off and you won't wonder where your weekly fix of Poppy is. Right, now let's get on with the normal stuff, shall we? Our first thing up today, of course, is a video roundup. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have been such a scatterbrain this week. Now, I have got book reviews loaded up. I have got lots of other bits and pieces in my emergency video stash that I can put in at the moment. I won't run out until the end of the month. But this week you didn't get as many videos as I thought you were going to get. You of course had the Fun Day Die Day on Thursday, which was where a couple I had the video of me and dyeing some cute yarn, and it was set as a preview so you guys could chat along with me. I'm sorry I was running late. I actually fell asleep on the sofa. Bestie woke me up and I went, it's 4:05. I should already be on there. So came speeding in here, set up the computer and joined in on the preview. I am so sorry I was late. There was only, I think, three of you that came to visit this week. It's fine. I know it's an awkward time. And I know that there are other creators with their lives that go on at the same time. I'm going to see if I can find another time slot, but that won't be until next month. So expect Fun Day Die Days out on Thursdays at 4 p.m. GMT. Now, there was meant to be a book review, but I was looking through earlier on in the week to check what videos were placed and where, and I had two videos that were set to go out on Tuesday, both book reviews. So I changed the date on one of them, I thought. But I must have got distracted because I went back and changed the date for the second one as well. So now they're both set at the end of the month. So that's why you didn't get a book review this week. So to make up for it, I brought forward Throwback Friday just to torture my old crazies. I thought, hey, I've freaked you out and tortured you enough, so I'll stick a Throwback Friday in. And that was on Friday, of course, this week, just gone. And of course, there was also the muck up with last week's Whips, Bits and Chat. Normally I record them on a Friday. Normally they're all squished together no later than Saturday, and normally uploaded on a Saturday, all ready for you at 10:30 a.m. on a Sunday. Last weekend didn't go to plan. I didn't get it all recorded on the Friday. We ended up going out on a little family adventure on the Saturday, and by the time I got back I was exhausted, and I thought, it's okay, it's not a problem. I will be up at stupid o'clock in the morning squidging it all together. I slept in, then I received a phone call and I had to do a mad dash, and then everything went bottoms up for the rest of this week. So that is why you didn't get it until Monday. Don't panic though if you've missed it. I will pop the link up in the I button above, and of course all the other videos will be there as well. So apologies gang, yeah, it's been it's been bat crazy here with family things going on, and I will tell you about it at the end of the month once it's all died down and everything's back to normal and it's all very, very positive. Right, so let's see what else I got up to this week. Right, so I have actually managed to finish some crochet. I actually finished it Saturday at silly o'clock, where I sewed in my ends, which was why I was up late, or nearly up late, on the Sunday. I say nearly because I actually got woken up at 8 o'clock in the morning with the emergency phone call. But I finally finished the jumper that I have been working on. Now the pattern is from OM Granny Square, which is our cheeky Ursula. Now at this moment in time, between now and the 1st of December, there we go, between now and the 1st of December, she is running a competition. So our cheeky Ursula over at OM Granny Square has set up a challenge for us. It's the Winter Granny Square Sweater Challenge. Now it was running from the 1st of September and it finishes on the 1st of December 2022. I'm reading this. I'm not daft for once. Now in the video she's challenging us to take part in the a Winter Granny Sweater Challenge, and on this you get the opportunity to make a sweater, and the sweater styles that you get to choose from is her Scrappy Granny Square tutorial or her Retro Granny Square tutorial. Both of the tutorials are wearables and they are on playlists, and I will link them in the description box and down below. Well, I'll link her main video for the Granny Square Sweater Challenge so you can get all the information firsthand instead of the garbled mess that I'm doing at the moment. Okay, now where is it? What you need to do is make one of those two sweaters or an amalgamation of the two, and send her over an email with pictures of your finished garment. And then you need to tell her whether she can use the pictures in a slideshow that will be on the 10th of December. And your pictures have to show the face of the person as well, so none of this cheeky make one item, take loads of photos in different areas and then use Photoshop to change colours. Honestly, I didn't have that idea before now. I did, but I didn't do it. I'm a good girl. And basically you send her in the email with the photographs with the person. Now the size is dependent on you, of course, if you want to make it for yourself or a family member. And she's also saying children's sizes are acceptable as well. Now the winners are going to be announced on the 10th of December. She'll be drawing 3, and each from the entries that are received, and those 3 winners will each receive 50 US dollars to either PayPal or your Amazon account or any gift card. There's lots of other information over, of course, on her video, but you need to be over 18 to take part in the challenge. Well, you can do it, but to enter and win the cash you'd need to be over 18. Yeah, and the sweaters can go from 4 to 5-year-old child all the way up to one to fit biggers, us biggers. Biggers, as bigger girls. Okay, so there we go, that's the information on the challenge. So and now I'm going to quickly show you a photograph of my entry, and then I will discuss the pattern a little bit more, because of course I changed it a little bit. Not mega, but I changed it so that it would be better for me on my shape, and of course the way I wear things is really weird, but I'll explain that to you in a second. I'll explain that to you in a second. I got my notes. I took loads and loads of notes so that when I make it again, because I do plan to make it again at a later point, I can make it so it fits me a little bit better than this one does, because it's a little bit on the baggy side for me, but not mega baggy. Right, now in the video Ursula explains it beautifully on how to join your squares and where you're going with your armholes and all of that. It's all perfectly explained, and one section, especially for the necks, and make sure that you pay attention, she says to you, divide the pattern by by thirds, and make sure you've got a certain size gap, otherwise your head may not fit. I heard you. I did, honestly I did, but the jumper style that I chose was the scrappy jumper, and that one's designed to hang more off of your shoulders, and of course with my curvature shoulders, and nothing hangs like that. It falls off one side and really does my head in. So because for me it's a winter one and I plan to layer it over different items, I ignored that bit, Ursula. I'm sorry to say, and I brought it not in so it was major, but instead of leaving a good couple of extras on the divide, I didn't. Okay, so my basic notes, I really should show it to you, shouldn't I? Dory's wearing it at the moment. So here it is, and I will show you the other adaptations in a moment, but as you can see here, I've done this so that when it goes on me, which I'll show you shortly, when it's on me, this sits closer around my neck, okay, but it is still divided into thirds because there's a sneaky way she does the shoulders and the neck joining. Okay, so I'm not giving too much away, Ursula, but because the pattern's there, and you guys of course can watch the video and find out what I'm going on about. Now my main body, to fit my size, I'm around a 16 to 18. I was using a 4mm hook and a DK weight yarn. These are Aldi and, oh, my favourite yarn. How can I forget the name of my favourite yarn? And Signet Special DK. Okay, so that's what the mixture of these two are. That's the special, that's an Aldi, the dark's an Aldi. Now let me think. I did 27 rounds of the main square for the front and the back. I would have actually done more, but I was running low on the dark blue because, as you can see here, this one isn't scrappy. It was colour controlled. I can't deal with things not matching. I'm sorry. So I started off my square with single rounds in or one round of each colour to start with, and then when I built out the next lot, it was 2 rounds of each colour. Okay, then I was tempted to go 3, but I thought my maths wasn't going to work out, so I stayed at increasing, doing each round just 2 times in each individual colour. Now I was going to finish on a dark blue, 2 rounds, but I could only go round once. There was not going to be enough yarn there for me to do the front and the back exactly the same. So because of that, I stripped back that blue and I held on to it and thought, right, well, I will stop on the white and then I will add a round of the the lighter blue, because I've got a lot of that. So it was a case of, I will use that, because I didn't do the math and work out how much yarn I was going to need. I was running the front and the back at the same time, so I would do 2 rounds in one colour on each of the squares, like the front panel and the back panel, and then I'd move on to the next colour, because at least that way, if I did run out of the colours and I would need to put a different one in, I could. And of course, last week I told you I'd run out, didn't I? I put that dark blue in, but oh, it stood out something chronic to me, so it really, the colours did not work, the colours didn't match, but the light blue one did, so that was fine. The light blue carried on, I carried on working with that. Okay, so back to the pattern. Yep, so front and back panels up to 27. I completed 27 rounds. My neck was a 6, 15 and 6. Jot that down if you're roughly my size. You may use it, you may not, you may change it around a little bit. My armholes were 11 granny stitches missed each side. So once I joined them together, that was a total of 22 grannies going around the top of the arm. And Ursula talks about how to decrease as you go. Now she gives you the different options that you can do for the length of the sleeve that you want. I guesstimated and it worked out roughly. So I decreased every 3 rounds. So because I knew I was running low on this dark blue. I then changed up the pattern slightly for me, like my colour order anyway. I changed that to every 3 rounds was a new colour, which meant that I could be really sneaky. All of my stitches go exactly the same way. There's no reversing of the pattern, because what I did was when I joined the new colour, I took it back a granny stitch or 2, depending on where the last one fell, so that my join on the underside of the sleeves all line up. Okay, so my decreases on my first row and they all line up. Oh, I was so chuffed with that. Okay, so that's how the pattern finished. And of course I showed you the photos a few moments ago of how it was when I sent my images over to Ursula. Now, because I've got a chunky neckline to this, I wanted also to have chunky sleevage. Now, my sleeves don't quite match. I've got the right pattern written down, but I didn't match them exactly. So I'm going to show you my favourite sleeve and leave the other one behind. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. So there's my favourite sleeve there. And now to bring the sleeve in, I did a bit of a sneaky cheeky. Now, what I could have carried on doing was decreasing all the way down, okay, with each colour change, which would have worked. And it would have meant that the maths was exact, but I didn't. I stopped decreasing about halfway down the sleeve, just like Ursula had said. So when it came to doing the sleeve, I knew I needed to lose a lot of stitches very quickly. So my second from last round, I didn't bother adding in the slip stitch between each cluster of stitches. So then that knocked me down quite a few stitches. Bonus! Which meant then that I didn't have to do the decrease as much. And then the next round down, again, that was solid grannies, and then my next round in was single crochets that were all in the dark colour, so that they all blend really well together. And then I did around 2 rounds, yeah, 2 rounds of the next colour, which is the cuff colour, and then I did the front post and back post all the way around, and I think there's 7 rounds. Okay, so that gave me my chunkier cuff. And then on the bottom, she's Ursula said to do 3 rounds. I did 7, so it matched the cuffs. Oh my word, that bit took the longest time. But yes, so that is how my jumper is. There is the sleeve join. I will show you properly in a second. Let's turn it around a little bit. That's what it looks like on the side. Okay, let's plonk her on there a sec and show you the cheeky decrease section. If you've worked with grannies before, you'll know what it looks like. Where are you? There. So there is my cheeky decrease section coming down. Those 2 little ones there. Oh no, that way, there. Those 2 there, and then I followed it down, and my next 2, oh Ange, get your hands going the right way. Next one is there, of course. It's one of them days, gang. So yeah, so as you can, now I've shown you where it is, you'll see it looks like a little bit of a flower sort of style pattern there. So that's the decrease. It can't be seen when it's worn. I actually wore it on the Sunday morning, because I ran downstairs and thought I'm going to need a jumper, so I grabbed it off of the sofa and plonked it on, and I've already had some really lovely comments about it. So I'm going to now pop it on and show you what it looks like on. Boing! Here it is. So, oh, it's looking wonky. I'm probably wearing it wonky, or I'm just being wonky. But here we go. This is what it looks like on. That's the front. There's the back. It covers my bum. It covers the fact that half the time I forget to do my trousers up properly. And it fits really lovely in the arms as well. So there you go. That is my take on the scrappy, not so scrappy sweater. The scrappy, not so scrappy, granny scrappy sweater. What was it called? Now I forgot to tell you the colour sequence for the arms. Okay, so we have got 3 rounds of each of the colours. It starts with the light blue, then we go to the off-white, then we go a dark blue, then we go light blue, white, dark blue, there we go, light blue, white, one round of dark blue, and then we've got the light blue cuff. And as you can see, where I've closed the neck, it doesn't sit and strangle me. And if I decided to put, say, a shirt with a collar on, that would sit quite nicely over the top as well. So yes, super chuffed with the way it turned out. Thank you, Ursula, for an absolutely lovely pattern to follow and slightly change. Right, so now it's time for your photos, but this week there is a little bit of a twist. One of the items that I'm about to show you, the very first one, is a hat that I made for a friend's little grandson, and I got to send it off, but I forgot to show you guys the pictures, or sorry, I've shown you the pictures, but I forgot to show you the hat because I'd already packed it. So we've just been waiting for the weather to get a little bit cooler, so the little mister doesn't end up boiling in his hat, so that a couple of photographs can be taken. Now normally I wouldn't show pictures of little ones, but of course Nan and Mum I know really well, and they've both said it's perfectly fine to do, and of course they've made sure he's clothed and things like that because they know how pedantic I can be. So the first photograph up is what the hats look like made up, and of course the yarn label as well. Now these were all made on my, this was made on my Centro, and little man's hat took one ball of yarn plus, well no, it was one ball of yarn, and that also made the pom-pom on the top. The second one that hasn't got a pom-pom is adult size, because all I kept doing was cranking that Centro until I ran out of yarn. But honestly, Nanny says she thinks she's got some of that upstairs, so she's going to make the pom-pom for Mum, so that the Mum and Babes can both match during the winter, when of course it fits them. You'll see what I mean when you see the photos. They are just so cute. So he's got plenty of growing in room seeing that last photo. I love that last one. The reason that the hat is so big on him is because my Centro hasn't got a round counter or row counter. So I have to just guesstimate. And of course I've had what I lovingly call chalk and cheese children. My eldest was a skinny beanpole. She looked like a walking skeleton when she was born, and the other one was born fitting in her skin and wearing 3 to 6 month clothing. But they were both the same length. They were just so different. So I can't judge children's clothing based off of my youngest, because by the time she was a year old, she was wearing clothing for 3-year-olds, and she's in because of her height. And then with the other one, the eldest, everything had to be taken in because she was so thin and tall. So I'd have to buy clothing for like a child a year older than her, so it would fit in length, and then I would have to tack in the sides of, say, jeans or trousers or anything like that. So yeah, clothing and my kids didn't work, so I just guess and hope for the best, which is why I haven't really done any baby stuff apart from basic hats, because of course we all know how to adjust them, and if you don't, it's not, there's a guide within my written patterns. But as I said, this one was made on the Centro, so it was just a case of pull it out, put it back down, crank some more. That's about right, I hope. And thankfully it's going to fit in probably till he's about 5. Sweet! Now the next photograph up is our next instalment from our cheeky Ray Ray. Now Ray Ray, if you hadn't watched last week's video, when Ray Ray sent me these photographs, she'd only been crocheting for 6 weeks. Let's just put it like that, only 6 weeks, and she is tackling the stitch a week set of videos. So come on, and let's have a look at her next 4 that she sent me over. Now, when it came to the Alpine stitch, Ray was really looking forward to the stitch, but she had a bit of an issue with hers curling, and she thought it might be down to her tension. So I did comment in, I'm not too sure how quick I was on this one though, Ray, but I did say to basically start that with a larger hook. If you're working the chain method, start with a larger hook and then drop down to the hook, the recommended hook, or your preferred hook, or do it with the double crochet, the foundation double crochet chain, and I popped a link in underneath so that she could have a go. Now there is also a link that I can either pop up here or in the description box down below that will take you through to the foundation double crochet stitch. That is really good if you're using it for blankets, because there's no chance of it curling up and there's no chance of it going like that in the wash, because hey, that's happened to me lots. Now, when it came to the rib stitch comment, I absolutely loved it. She said it was so satisfying doing the alternate posts and feeling the stretchiness. She had a big stupid grin on her face while she was making it. I'd just like to tell you, so was I when I did my sample. You might have been able to tell on that video that I was quite happy about it because of the way that my voice was coming across in it. I wasn't being as normally sensible as normal. I'll leave it like that, shall I? And that rib stitch, perfect for cuffs and collars. So there you go. I cheekily picked a couple of comments from a couple of the blocks that she made this week or that week, because I don't quite know when she made them. Well, they were about 3 weeks ago. From about 3 weeks ago the messages came up. Right, and then the last photograph this week is from our cheeky Sabrina Mellinger. Now, she is totally and utterly addicted to making the Biddy Baby blanket, and this time round she has done it in a gorgeous shade of blue. And now the yarn she chose was from Poundland. She's also done it in a pink and done it in a DK weight and an Aran weight, I believe. So she's definitely having fun at testing this pattern out and seeing how far she can push at. But yeah, I absolutely love it. So let me show you that photograph now. Now, as this week's video is a big number and a round number, I've decided to run 15% off of all of my patterns over on the Ravelry shop. All you need to do is use the code WOW at checkout, and that'll of course give you a 15% off. There will be a link in the description box down below and also on the end screen that will take you over to the Ravelry shop, so you can have a nose and see if there is any patterns there that you like the look of. Some of them of course have got tutorials on the channel, full tutorials, and others haven't. So if you are looking at the cat jumper, that doesn't have a full tutorial, but it does still have tutorials on how to do the stitch and other bits and pieces that you need that will accompany the pattern. Okay, so go and have a nose and see what you can find. You never know, there may be an item there that you go, oh, I could make that for so and so for Christmas. And also a cheeky little reminder, if you like any of the yarns that I have dyed on my Fun Day and Dye Day videos, okay, please check the description box of them to see whether those are still available, and if they are, send me over an email telling me which video it's from, the yarns from, and how many you would like. And as long as I've got them, I'll tell you how much it will cost to send them out to you. Please remember, the postage costs are not my domain. I do send out all of the parcels on recorded delivery, so that way both of us can check whereabouts it is in the world and how long it'll be till it gets to you. Fingers crossed it gets to you quick. Yeah, so that's the only draw side. So that's the only downside to it, is the postage costs. But I did send out some last month and they have arrived really, really quickly. And I've had comments that come back saying we like them. So keep an eye out, because in week 6 and week 7 you'll see some colourways that I've made for those individuals, and they've been sent out and they've been received, and I can't wait to show them off to you. So if you love the idea but there isn't a colourway yet that you've seen me make that you like, send me a message, we'll discuss it, and I'll see if I can do something. You never know, I might come out with something completely and bat crazy that you will just fall in love with. Fingers crossed, eh? Oh, and of course, because the pounds are rubbish at the moment on the exchange rate, you girls in America, Australia and anywhere else in the country are going to get an absolutely wicked deal. So grab it while you can. Get in early for your Christmas presents, because the Royal Mail have got strikes on this month. But if you get in quick with your order, hopefully I will have that to you for Christmas so you can sit under the tree. And if you want, I can even put a label in saying lovingly sent from Santa. Or, of course, congratulations on your win. If you need either of those disguises for yarn that you purchase from me, just tell me in the email. I'm happy to help. Right, I think I've talked your ear off enough for today. So that is it for me. Have an absolutely lovely rest of your day and a rest of your week. And I will see you all really, really soon. So please remember to stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Bye everybody.